Hello and welcome to the world of EDC. My name's Jeff, and today we're going to be making a reply to an open tag that Patty's Potato Pillars did about 3 or 4 days ago. And in it, he talked about Chinese knife companies being able to bring knives to the market, and also the price difference, between the United States and the UK. And his thoughts on why the prices are so much higher over there compared to the US. So one of the examples that he used was, $120 knife in the US would cost around 150 euros in the UK, that making it, with the conversion, about $180 in American dollars, the US dollars. And so I hope you're following me there. So $120 knife cost 150 euros over there, which amounts to $180. So now that we have that kind of baseline, and those are just rough numbers, they're not exact, but that's about the example that he used. Why is it that a knife is that much more expensive over there? And in his comment section, I mentioned that I thought that it was his reasons, just so I can set the stage. His reasons were that he thought that it was because knife companies were being greedy. It's not as big a market, and therefore much more expensive to bring knives over there because they're trying to make a profit off of them. I don't necessarily follow that line of thinking. I more so think, and I said this in his comment section, and he disagreed with me, and he didn't go into it of why he disagreed with me, so I'm not going to go into that. But I wanted to lay out the case for you guys and let you guys decide, and maybe get you involved in this topic. The line of thinking that I go with is there's much more strict laws in the UK and other countries around the world than there are in the United States. And so knife companies look at those markets as much more dangerous, not as desirable. Let me get that fingerprint off that knife here. Not as desirable than, let's say the US market. And so I think that when you are in the UK, you have one or two, three, I don't know, less than a half a dozen, if I'm guessing. I don't live there, so I just know what Patty's talked about, and I know what a couple of people have talked about in other videos that are from the UK that I've watched. And they've only got a couple of distributors. They've only got a couple of places that they can go to buy knives. And in, not to make it a political thing, but in capitalism and in, marketing, when you have competition breeds, better prices for the customer. If you've got 20 people selling the same thing, one of them's going to try to give you a deal, therefore the other one's going to compete, and so on and so forth. And that's when you're going to get down to the brass tacks, the bottom price, for things that, a company can buy something for, a manufacturer's price. I'm drawing a blank on the word for that, but buy it at wholesale, that's the word, and sell it for, a retail price. If this Civivi costs $30 to build, manufacture, ship, everything to get it to the retailer's door, and then they tack on their prices and they get it to $65 to $70, that's where their profit lies. Now, if they're just left to their devices, they'll say, well, nobody else is selling it, I'm going to sell it for $100. And what is anybody going to be able to say to me, because I'm the only game in town? And so I think that the price difference in the UK, and this is, again, I don't live there, I don't have any insider knowledge, it's just based off of the idea of capitalism, free market, and, the lack of competitors to sell the knives that people are interested in, because it is such a very small market over there. And I think that if either the laws changed, or if the community changed over there to where a bunch of people changed their thoughts on knives over there, I think that basically overnight you would see knife prices come way, way down over there. And that's just my theory. Again, the whole point of this video, it is an open tag that Patty did, not necessarily going along the same lines that he was going after. But I just wanted to run that by you guys and see what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And you know, definitely stop by Patty's video. I'll link it in the description so that you can, you know, talk this out with Patty as well. I'm sure he'd love to get into it with anybody that would like to talk about it. Don't be rude. I'm not saying get into it that way, but you know, discuss it in the comment section of his video, my video. I'd love to see where this goes. And then one other quick thought. That's the end of the video if you're not interested in one other quick thought on this topic. The last thought I would have on this topic is, outside of knives and all the other things that I'm interested in, I'm a gamer. I like to play video games, and in the world of video games, when there's video games that are ever expanding, growing, meaning that the developers add in new things over time, new weapons, armor, that kind of thing, you know, items, magic items, all that kind of stuff, all the things that you might know about from gaming, right? When they introduce that kind of stuff, there is a theory, or even I guess theory is probably the best word, a philosophy of what they call power creep. And basically, I won't bore you with all the technicalities of that, but basically it says that when you introduce something new, it makes older things less powerful. And so I would like to propose the idea of quote-unquote power creep in the world of knives. In that, when this knife first came out, that's why these two knives were selected. When this knife first came out, it was like one of those, everybody kind of has to have it. It wasn't like grass fire or anything like that, but this was, for a while, a standard, and people wanted to have a griptilian. And, you know, not so much as a bug out or anything like that, but I'm sure you're sick of seeing bug out, so I'm sure you're glad I'm using the griptilian as an example. Or let's say a Delica. All of those knives were great knives at the time. But over time, as things become introduced in the market, such as the Civivi Elementum here, which is the perfect example of today's market, this knife doesn't look as appealing as this knife. This knife is obviously an older design, it's more expensive, yada yada yada. The list could go on forever. This knife, elegant design, easy to carry. It comes with a deep carry pocket clip. I had to put this deep carry pocket clip on there. A decent steel with D2 and a bunch of different designs now. And again, roughly $30 less in today's market. And so I would like to see what you guys feel about the idea of power creep, or, you know, innovation creep, I guess you could call it, in you know, the world of knives. And so I think that might be a part of it as well. And here's the other reason why I think you have you know, prices going up and up and up, and it doesn't seem fair for knives, especially like Patty talked about the Delicas over there. You know, a Delica is somewhere around, I think he said 90 euros. That's unreal. That's like $120 in the US. And in the US, they're pushing about $180. And I think that has to do with it. It's not because it's a new design. They're not doing any R&R. They're not doing any kind of, you know, manufacturing changes or anything like that. If they need to pump out a Delica, they've got it down pat now. I mean, they should be able to do them in their sleep. So why is the price higher today than it was before? You could call it inflation, you can call it this or that. I think that Spyderco probably looks at the fact that for this knife, Civivi can get around $70. They look at it as maybe, you know, steel, our design, resting on their laurels. I don't know. I'm just trying to pass that thought on to you guys if you guys are interested in a second thought on this video. But that's where my line of thinking is. I didn't write any of this down or anything like that, so there's just kind of I had thought about it for a while now, and I just wanted to pass it along to you guys. So if you made it to this point in the video, I really do appreciate it. I know I kind of yammered on, but at this point in time, I just I felt like I should share my thoughts, talk about the topic, and, you know, see where you guys are at with you know, the said topic. Patty, thank you for the open tag. I really do appreciate it. Anybody else that wants to get involved, definitely go check out, as my phone goes off, go check out you know, Patty's original video. Again, it'll be in the description. Please like the video, comment all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. It really does help the channel out. And I will see you in the next one.